we need to get back to our African roots. And in Africa, man, the women are respected and honored, right? Or at least they
Yeah.
used to be, right? When they were plucking us and sticking us on them damn boats, it wasn't just about you got a dick, you the man, everything revolves around you. That's not how it worked. In Africa, we didn't have this supremacy thing or this superiority complex over women. We got that from the Eurocentric culture. We didn't have that in Africa. We've always respected our women, the life givers, the life givers of our community, the nurturers of our community, right? And they had power. Our women were powerful, right? So when you speak to somebody who's familiar with classic African culture, they didn't have to teach them, not to misuse and beat up and abuse the women in mass quantities, because the masses were respectful of a woman's place.
What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Fatherhood Village podcast, the official home for proud fathers and mentors. I go by the name of Dale Holloway, rocking with my brother, Kev Hick. What's going on with you?
Man, I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you doing, bro?
Oh, man, I can't complain. Everything's smooth on this end. Got a little rain over here, but, couldn't get the kids out today. But, I'm sure if it was up to them, they go out anyway. But
damn, is it ice rain? You in Alaska, bro?
Oh,
is
nah.
it cold as a motherfucker, bro?
It's actually straight. The snow, I think the snow finally dissipated and disappeared a weekend of May. Yeah, still speaking about snow in May. Nah, that's actually almost completely evaporated. Like, it's in the mountains a little bit, but yeah, summertime is real near, man. And well, we approaching 60. We hit 60-degree weather a couple times. I was gonna say approaching, but we're here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's all good. What about things on your end?
Man, it's been a busy weekend. All of my clients are free, and many of them haven't been back to work yet. And so they need a lot of guidance and advice. And so I've been kind of working a lot more just because of the COVID thing. Having a lot of people who are free and got time to reflect and think and try to self-develop. I've been doing a lot more calls, a lot more consultations, meeting a lot more clients. And so my life has actually been much busier since all of this crap started. So, but besides that, man, I guess I got a beautiful problem. You know what I'm saying? Still got funding coming in, still got the cash flow coming in, and still helping people doing what I love. So, I guess it's a win-win.
That's big, man. Definitely, man. But for this episode, we're going to get into serving and respecting the women of our community. We'll go over how and why our perception of women has changed in our community. We'll follow that up with what do we have to do as men, as fathers, ultimately to change the view and perception that we're speaking of. And we'll wrap it up with how to de-escalate the conflict that we may have with women the right way. And we'll also go into pretty much a story that's near and dear to us. But yeah, first of all, man, our women, man, the natural givers of life, they aggregate prepared nourishment for our families, the ability to feed her child from her own body, breastfeeding. That's powerful. You know what I mean? These small things, but actually big when in terms of civilization and things of that nature. And women's instinctual way of healing. I kind of think of women of our symbol of peace in a lot of ways. But what was that?
Said a wise woman, absolutely.
Exactly. So I wanted to ask you, Kev, so how has a lot of the perceptions and ideas of women changed so much? Why is it kind of a complicated thing, and why do we kind of degrade our women and defame them so much when really that isn't how we should be handling the situation?
Where do I start? I suppose before I even get into that, man, I will offer a disclaimer and and a statement to the brothers in the crowd that might not understand a real man's purpose and duty and responsibility to protect the men, the children and the women of the tribe. Um, Anybody thinking the word simp should be applied to a man handling his responsibilities and caring about his communities, you sit your fuck ass down right now.
Hmm.
This ain't for y'all. This ain't for y'all. This small minds who think that somehow or another, because we got dicks and balls, we supposed to be putting down our women. And that's supposed to be masculine. That's masculinity. That's manhood. Anybody showing respect for a woman or reverence or honor for a woman is a simp. You pimp worshiping ass bitch ass niggas, man. Listen, this ain't for y'all. This
Hmm.
conversation ain't for y'all.
Yeah.
We talking to the real men, the men who handle their business, the men who respect their sisters, their mothers, their aunts, their grandmamas, and respect the women in other men's families, because all of these women are sisters, aunts, cousins, nieces, best friends, daughters. Like too much is at stake right now for us to be at war with our women. So I just want to let y'all know that again. If you one of them brothers who like the idea that somehow or another dick and balls make you more special and somehow or another more qualified for respect, this ain't for you. So I
Not
don't
at
forgot
all.
what I don't forgot what the question was. Give me the question, because I know some weak niggas gonna be up in here
Yeah.
talking about some oh yeah man, y'all some simps. We gonna get that out the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely, man. But to reiterate, what and or excuse me, why and how has the perception of women in our community changed so much in the eyes of our men, our young men, and honestly, probably women as well. The way they view each other. How has that changed? Why are we not taking a stand for our women? Why are we continuing to defame them, and pretty much degrade these women of our community that we hold or supposed to hold so dear to us?
you know, Man, there are so many fronts. There's so many reasons. There are so many layers to the idea of the feminine versus the masculine, the man versus the woman. Um, it starts from the founding of this country. This country was founded. Women were property. They couldn't vote. They couldn't own houses, and that was just the white ones. You know what I'm saying? And then
Hmm.
the black ones was slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so um and then with the slaves, it started with them buck breaking all the men in front of the women to reduce
Exactly.
the masculinity and to take from the women the idea that a man could protect them and to turn them against the men through the means of just building in them resentment that the men that they were supposed to be protected by were even weaker than them in some places, just because they were being broken down by the slave masters. And then you come back to a society of all free men, right? Uh, Irregardless of any oppressions or discriminations, you get these wars that give women new opportunities to explore rights and build and create industries and uphold industries while our men are at war just in this country on a country level. And so the women's revolution and the women's movement started after they were the ones building the bombs and keeping all the industry together
Hmm.
while these brothers was at war in the World War II and World War I. And think about all of the things that happened that pulled them away from that oppressive state that women as a whole were in. And obviously black women were always doing a little bit worse than even white women, but um,
Much worse,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were
Like
they were they were, you know what I'm saying, putting down the black women. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
And
Yeah.
even today, obviously the black woman is the most disrespected, disregarded, forgotten
Yeah.
about, abandoned, neglected, overlooked woman in the world,
Yes, sir.
especially as it pertains to this country.
Yeah. I got you. That's real. That's real. Yeah, so my take, uh, women like men need guidance and positive, models that are highly conducive in reflecting the deserved respect we need from each other. And what is a woman's role in the community? I think a lot of us need to ask that, women themselves, young women, young ladies, what is your role in a community? What are the responsibilities given and taught to her by her mother and or other women of the family and community? Uh, are these are there limitations or confines of how she should act? How she should speak. Um, these are answers that we need, questions we need to ask. Uh, what is in the best interest of her and her family? Is that the way she is, behaving? Um, is that the same thing she's emulating? Because, like I said, it goes back to what she's being taught, what's in front of her, uh, and where is this line drawn? If there are certain ways to behave, to act, to be a lady, where's the line drawn? And those lines are often blurred, largely due to outside social programming and the
Hmm.
absence of structure in the home.
Yeah,
And what is being allowed, uh, and what is deemed acceptable behavior is determined by the household in a lot of ways,
yeah,
influential figures, and community leaders. That's what they look up to. And if we're not saying anything, if we're not checking these things, it goes unscathed, and that becomes, the norm. It
absolutely.
becomes a part of the culture. So, um, I think young women's self identity is compromised by, uh, you know, those opposing influences that are constantly, uh, being reinforced throughout mass media, and
Yeah,
and mass media that is predominantly controlled and distributed by white power structures, home of which don't benefit from our success and reclaiming our community, you know, home of which don't profit from us teaching our own, owning our own, doing
mm,
business with our own. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Nothing that is going to keep us independent, from white supremacy. So these puppets of white supremacy consequently becomes advertisement amongst small
yeah,
and large social groups, of us interacting in the form of conversation. We're
yeah,
gossiping about hip hop, Wives of Atlanta, and ratchet and coon behavior instead of congregating about who just started a business, who's teaching
absolutely.
automotive mechanic skills in the community, things that we can actually build from, and leave the devastation and poverty and all this, uh, this bad imagery that's being reflected on us, and be uplifted from the stereotype that a lot of us are living.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
No,
So
that's real. There's a reason why the conscious rappers have to be looked up, but the ratchet rappers are everywhere you go.
yeah,
You can't go nowhere without seeing the next felon, triple felon, quadruple felon, predicate, quintuple felon with dope in his pocket, a gun in his hand, gold teeth, fucking pants on the ground, dick hanging out the front of his drawers because he won't pull his pants up. Even past that, like he I mean, this is what they spend mass marketing dollars on to
yeah.
show us us and to sell us as if this is the image of the average man in our community. It's a shame that that has become the way out for so many because it's almost like they are paying one of us to hold back all of us, and they do that,
Always.
and it might be 30 hot rappers at a time. All of them is dope boy kingpins.
Yeah.
Everybody's a kingpin.
Yeah.
Everybody done did it and shot it and busted and stabbed it and all of this dumb shit. And
Right.
brothers don't have no sense of responsibility to their communities. These brothers have
Yeah.
no sense of responsibility to their families, no sense of responsibility to their kids or the women that they lay down with. Like they have no
I mean,
pride,
you see the
culture, nothing.
videos,
Yeah,
that, like I said,
yeah,
that put all this and pull all these things in order. And that's what they want us to believe subconsciously, in
Yeah,
our minds. And like I said, we always see the liquor, the women, they're in strip clubs,
yeah, the
they
guns,
twerk
the
swimming
drugs.
pool parties. Like nobody's building anything. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying, doing
Yeah.
things for the community. Raising young women the right way.
Mhm.
They going to school. They studying.
Yeah.
They helping the next lady. They not hating. They respecting each other. They banding and doing things as a group. It's
And the culture that they build and the culture that they pay to keep in place is very adversarial to not only the family structure, but the black woman. Right, the black
mhm,
woman is a sex toy. She's an object of lust.
right.
She has no value outside of that. And if you have a value or you respect or honor or have a reverence for a woman outside of the whole one of her orifices, then you are a simp.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
fucking stupid,
that's the
man.
culture. That's the culture of the young people, and they being raised by mumble rappers, right? So
Yeah.
you just talking about 25 and under. That's mumble rap culture right there. But
Yeah.
hell, 35 and under, the crack epidemic raised them because they're the children of the crack epidemic. Because
Yeah.
the 35 and under, their parents was probably their parents. A lot of their parents grew up on crack. That's the boys in the hood kids. They finally grew
Hmm.
up, and what they doing?
Hmm.
Actually 40 and under for real, it's like them the boys of the hood kids.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody didn't have a daddy like Trey, right? That will
Hmm.
break down game and tell them what was going on and how to have pride in their communities, how to serve a purpose in their communities.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have that. Many of us, and it hits close to home with me and my family. Man, we had crack addiction in our family. We had alcoholism in our family,
Right. Same.
generational abuse and toxic shit in our family, right?
Hmm.
Just coming out of that terrible time. And it's very difficult for people to shake back when they don't know, when they haven't identified everything that's against them. But as far as our women and our relationship with our women, eventually that lack of support has to turn back on the man. And women have grown tired, they've grown irritated, they've grown frustrated, furious, resentful that the men have not protected them. The men have not been their refuge, not been their rocks.
Yeah.
In large part, right?
Yeah.
There are always great men doing great things, right? But
Hmm.
as a culture, our men are the ones leading the charge against our own people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's yeah. That I'm you going right into the next point. What do we have to do as men of the community, as fathers, ultimately, especially raising daughters? What are some things that we have to change?
well, I think we need to get back to just speaking specifically about black people. And I mean to make this a black people podcast, but shit, let's just get to
I
it,
mean,
right?
let's keep it
Look here,
real.
look, bro. We need to get back to our African roots. And in Africa, man, the women are respected and honored, right? Or at least they
Yeah.
used to be, right? When they were plucking us and sticking us on them damn boats, it wasn't just about you got a dick, you the man, everything revolves around you. That's not how it worked. In Africa, we didn't have this supremacy thing or this superiority complex over women. We got that from the Eurocentric culture. We didn't have that in Africa. We've always respected our women, the life givers, the life givers of our community, the nurturers of our community, right? And they had power. Our women were powerful, right? So when you speak to somebody who's familiar with classic African culture, you know they didn't have to teach them, not to misuse and beat up and abuse the women in mass quantities, because the masses were respectful of a woman's place. You respect the old grandma, the elders of the community, right? You
Hmm.
still in Africa, they still in places, man, they still ask their mama for permission to get married and do all kind of stuff, man. They ain't
Yeah.
talking about, oh, you're simping, man, you simping because you like you respect so and so woman, man. That's not how it works, bro. Like
Mm-mm.
the woman, because the woman was seen as an extension of the men behind her. So you had to come correct. You had to bring your goats, bring your offerings, bro. I'm gonna respect
Yeah.
this woman, and here's the gifts for her love.
Yeah.
I think we just need to get back to what was traditionally our culture, which was loving and respecting and honoring and taking care of our family and responsibilities. Um, we have to put this hip hop, not hip hop, but the rap, because rap and hip hop are different. We
Yeah.
have to put this goofy ass rap shit down, and we have to start to rebel against what's fed to us. Think about it, bro. man, these other cultures and these other races are turning on their radio stations and listening to, you know, politics, finance,
Mm-hmm.
community building, they gardening,
Yeah.
and they investing, and they watching the market, and they studying how to control, how to have power over, how to operate in dominion over your community, and
Yeah.
provide as a whole for your tribe, whatever tribe that might be. Whether talking about white people, the Asians protect their culture and their communities, the Jews protect their culture and their communities, the whites protect everything.
Mm-hmm.
They'll migrate a whole city out of motherfuckers. Too many people outside of their community, move in,
Yeah.
and then we the only ones that let people come to our communities from all kind of cultures and countries of the world, and take all the money out of our communities and don't put a damn dollar back in. And
Yeah.
then our women are living in poverty in those communities because you got to be a woman with children and a missing father to live in most of those project communities, right? And I'm from the
Yeah.
project, so
Yeah.
you got 300 unit. Sorry, you got a 300 unit project with 300 women, and ain't no baby daddy around. And all
Yeah.
of them women have to have kids, and have to obviously be without a man to even qualify for the lease. They made a
Mm-hmm.
requirement to help our poor that the man step away from the house. You don't think
Yep.
that's strategic? The
Yeah, man.
music they listen to, these record companies spend billions of dollars a year making sure we get the most ratchetest, stupidest shit that they can possibly package and put on the damn radio, or put on the damn iCloud for you to listen to. You think they
Mm-hmm.
want their kids listening to that shit? Their kids ain't listening to that shit. They
Not at
listening
all.
to finance. They learning about money, and that's why they don't
Yeah.
teach it in schools. Man, I guess we are way far away
Nah,
from it.
nah, you hitting it, man.
But
Like
but
it's
I,
a good dichotomy to kind of
yeah,
digest a little bit. Yeah.
but I make that relationship because our men have to lead us back into that place. Our men have
Mm-hmm.
to lead us back into a power focus on building our community from the ground up, or building another Tulsa or Black Wall Street, right? Building
Right.
building more communities with based on financial education, based on pride, based on self love, right? We have to start doing what's best for the community, what's best for the whole, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
when we
The
come
greater
from,
good.
the
Yeah.
greater good of the
Yeah.
community was served, right? And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
protected, the greater good of the community. And now everybody's an individual. We got so many black billionaires, black millionaires. Two people won't rub two damn nickels together to get to help people, or to come
They
teach
crossed
financial
over.
education.
They not
Right,
even part of the community anymore. They, you know what I'm saying?
right, right. And like I said, I understand because it's scary. But now you got the opportunity and the bill and the infrastructure. You got the opportunity and the finances to create infrastructure that re-educates our people back into a positive place.
Yeah.
Hey, you think pop music ain't talking about macking bitches up
Nah.
and fucking on your wife, fucking on your hoe, fucking on
Yeah.
your bitch,
Hey,
right?
but
That ain't pop music.
sex sells, and
Sick.
that's how they package us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's
but
what we worth. You know, they can put $1 on us, and you can sell your soul. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? Because up in this
absolutely.
capitalist community, that's the only thing that matters. Money is
Yeah,
above all.
yeah,
So, however you willing to get it, like because we've been without and we've been, impoverished for so long and oppressed, and we didn't have power. Any little bit counts. Like, all right, shit, what I gotta do?
yeah,
Just tell me what I gotta do. I'm gonna get that check. And
right,
that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what kills a
absolutely.
community, man.
But
Our
but
identity, our image.
our men are supposed to be steering this ship and turning it back around to where it's supposed to be. And instead, our men are capitalizing and getting paid more than women. And that's another thing. Like our men just haven't steered the ship in the way it should go. Like the way you lead your household,
Mhm.
like where your household goes is where you lead your household, right?
Yeah.
As the man, you respect your wife, and she is equal, but she is equal and opposite, right? But your
Mhm.
duty is to make sure that y'all straight. Your duty is to build a legacy. Your duty is to make sure that there's an inheritance for your children. Your
Right.
duty is to make sure that they're guided in the way they should go, so when they are old, they do not go astray. That's your duty as a father,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And women have an equally and opposite important duty as well. But your duty is to steer the ship. And as a people, if we just talking about us for real, our men have not rose into the challenges and steered the ship back in the right direction. They've gotten paid a great deal to make sure that the ship stays in the wrong direction. And women have just gotten tired of it, and real men have gotten tired of it. A lot of us are watching this and just aren't in a position to do much about it, but witness it and try to help in our small communities and in our small ways. But as a culture, man, we need to unify. As men, we need to unify and get on the same accord so that our community cultures aren't being dictated by people who throw money at the idiots in our community to curate a culture and to give us the impression that this is what we are, because it is not. They just put the village, they put paying our village idiots millions of dollars to disrespect our women and create that
And
as the standard to raise other young men.
yeah, and we champion that, saying they made it.
They
Man,
made it.
fuck
Yeah,
out of here, man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Again, I
yeah.
every time I say something about it, somebody say, I say, talk about respecting women and, and honoring a woman for, and again, every woman ain't respectable. We ain't saying every,
We'll get on that. We'll get
yeah,
on
but
that.
but damn, the ones that's respectable, let's get in what they do, man. Let's
Yeah,
quit acting like a dick and balls make us better, bro, because they don't.
it don't. Yeah, yeah. So respecting and highly regarding women, like we mentioned, man, should be of the major principles, of the major pillars of being a great man, of a great father. And you know, we as men are the dominant and most influential presence in our community, as you stated. We're the pioneers. Wherever we steer the ship, that's where we headed. We lead by demonstration. We have to walk the walk. Um, and so, in being that, we set the precedence, and and how women should be thought of, how should they be treated, how should they be cared for. We set that, and whether we know it or not, subconsciously, that's what we're doing. And without the clear continuity and cooperation between men and women, father and mother, the foundation is unsettled. It
Mhm.
needs to be firmly grounded. So there's no respected community without them, or us abiding by certain principles. So, like you said, it has to start in the house, and um, we have to come together more often and talk about these same things within our small communities, our little small neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods talk with other neighborhoods. Like, we got to get on the same accord at all times, and
Yeah,
hold each other to those same standards, those same, uh, that same accountability. And
absolutely.
and I think a lot of times we have to ask ourselves the question, what does self-respect look like? Because if that's
Mm,
what a lot of us are, pleading for, if that's what we desire, okay, what's your idea of self-respect? And how does that
yeah,
correlate with the next person?
yeah.
Um, and why is certain behavior acceptable? You
Yeah,
know what
we
I'm
need to be
saying?
putting a foot in each other's ass for some of the fuckery that's going on for real. A whole
Yeah,
foot, a whole foot, like literally,
a
get my
whole
shoe back,
Shaq
bro.
shoe in that
Bro,
shit.
bro, bro,
Yeah,
get my shoe back, bro. Get your shit together and get my shoe back, bro. Dig it out of there, bro. It's like
yeah,
we really be on each other. We
we
got
gotta.
millionaires. We got millionaires getting money, getting rich off of degrading our women and selling that as a package and as culture to the younger people who are too young to understand that that is not life, right?
Yeah,
You 13, 14, 12, you ain't got no father and you listen to NBA Youngboy, he's your daddy.
yeah,
You idolize him, his posters on your wall. This nigga can't stay out of jail, and if he is out of jail, he's got women stabbing each other over it.
yeah. That,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
we, like I said, like we value the idea of money so much. Like, it's been
Yeah,
indoctrinated, what I'm saying, for centuries, really, because we didn't have anything. It's not like we didn't had
yeah,
it and fucked off. We didn't did some stupid shit with it. Now we back right. Now this is still sort of new to us. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Having, I guess, the perceived liberty and freedoms that come with having power, what I'm saying, in the
mm,
form of money. So, like I said, when you see a NBA young boy or any other of these dumbass rappers we could just name off the list, a lot of young people, some older than we would hope for, are still looking up and idolizing these people because they have simply more than what they have. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
off for
yeah,
that alone,
yeah,
not what their principles are, what they are as a man. And like I said, that you can't be. You're a clown. Like, you're dressing up in a costume, even if that's not your real persona. Like you sold out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether you put a mask on or not, bro.
Yeah, you
Feel
teach
me?
a man to hurt his own people. You sell poison to your community. You disrespect your own women. You destroy them mentally so that they go out into the community and poison young kids because they don't know no better. And then they poison their daughters against men because they've been mistreated by your ass. And so the young girls grow up. I don't need no man. My mama didn't need no man. All we
Mm-hmm.
need them for is sex. So she has an idea that's very cheapened, toward men, and men have an idea that's very cheapened toward women because now they have good reason to dislike each other. They both started rejecting each other before they accepted each other,
Mm-hmm.
because they've been trained against each other, right? And then you have whole industries dedicated to making sure that that stays the impoverished culture of America, right?
Yeah.
Um, oh God, bro. Like I said, it's just about men actually instead of trying to just get it and have it so your neighbor can look at you have it, instead of just trying to figure out how you can shine, we need to figure out how we can get together and build some real power back into our community. We need to take our
Mm-hmm.
black dollar back from
Yeah.
these people these fucking community invaders that come and steal all our damn money and give it right back to their community. They
Yeah.
going back home to mansions and they coming to the projects selling you sneakers and Snickers and fucking Cheetos and Doritos and 40 ounce and half pints and red wild Irish rose and
Yeah.
a Coke 45, and then they go back. They don't drink that
We
shit. They
we
go
need to
back to
bring that red line back and then, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, impose it in
the
reverse. You know what I'm
opposite.
saying? Y'all not
Yeah,
allowed in here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Not y'all ain't respecting our people. Y'all not putting no money back in this community. When we get shot in the back in the ass, and our women are out there in the face of police, and where y'all at? Y'all
Yeah.
taking
Oh,
y'all
you
damn
seen that
y'all.
video?
Yeah, yeah. What?
Boy,
It's
you know
just
what I'm
it's
saying? It was a herd of cats out there. Could have did anything. Like
yeah,
if you like, you know what I'm saying? If a woman, first of all, a woman should never be in a compromising situation like that ever. She shouldn't ever
yeah,
feel that she needs to. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it should already be handled by the men around her.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
should never let her go down alone. Like I said, first of all, she didn't even been there in the first place or felt that she had to, you know what I'm saying, approach the situation that way. And then for nobody to come to her help and
Yeah,
that
man.
was
That's just
I
weakness,
felt
man.
sick, man.
That's
Yeah.
just weakness, man. Like I said, man, if somebody disrespecting your people, man, you supposed to say something. Somebody standing against your women, you supposed to say something. Instead, you too busy chasing some ass, trying to looking at Instagram at the biggest booty that you can find with some oil on it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you just have
Yeah.
no reverence for your own people, the life of your community, the bloodline of your community. You have no reverence for it, and it's been taught to you. And you think that you a rebel. You're not a rebel. You're doing exactly what the fuck they want you to do. What they
Mm-hmm.
pay billions and billions and billions of dollars to make you do. Is to turn
Yeah.
against your own people, turn against your women, abandon them when they need you the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are great black men, great, amazing, powerful, strong, impactful, focused, diligent black men out here, man. But then they're just we don't see those. We don't. That's not the story of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Those brothers don't get no shine. It's not a popular thing to do, right? And so what becomes popular is the guy who's mistreating as many women as he can possibly mistreat. The guy who's
Mm-hmm.
laying down a bunch of women irresponsibly, sleeping with a bunch of women, selling them dreams, abandoning his seed. That guy's popular. That guy's popping. And
That's the shit they showing. Like you said,
yeah,
we don't control the mass media. And like I said, we got very small, limited avenues and outlets. You know what I'm saying? If that was the image and what we were trying to portray. Because like I said, it is real. That is a realistic thing of those men that you speak of. But like I said, we pay so much attention of, first of all, being validated by people that's not in the community. You know what I mean? Uh and then second, like I said, asking that question, like, what does self-respect look like? And then like I said, when you have guys, when the women are thirst trapping and stuff because they know they can use their sex to attract, you know what I mean, as a element of power, but at the same time it's a double-edged sword. And how are you being looked at? How are you being viewed? And in turn, how are you being treated? Is it worth the attention you getting? Is it worth the comments and likes and everything else that comes with showing your ass? You know what I'm saying? I see, I scroll through Instagram And I run across a picture of a lady, um, and she has like, first of all, it's her bio that says she's like a real estate agent or something of that sort. But it's nothing about selling real estate, no information that I can plug into and find more. If something that interests me as far as real estate, I don't know where she's located to sell it. All I see is her with all these you know thirst trap
Mm.
pictures. I'm just
Wait,
like, this
let
makes no sense.
let me guess. She's backwards in the mirror with her legs slightly spread so her butt cheek sticks out a little bit more and she's turned
All of
halfway.
that, everything with selfies.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, is this a
Yeah.
robot page? Like,
Oh,
it was
on her
just
tippy
weird.
toes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, why is this the only thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I understand that women want to, they feel good about themselves. They want to be seen as sexy and sexual, but not a sex object. I know it's kind of a tight rope
It's a
to,
blurry area. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just, I think they struggle with that as well. But um,
I think that
like
they
it's,
I think that they doing what they know works, right?
yeah,
And you
yeah.
just like these young brothers in our impoverished areas, they do what they know works. You're selling weed works, selling crack works, selling heroin works, selling ice works. Fine, I'll do that. Then you got these rappers. Well, I'm tired of selling ice, weed, crack, heroin, and shooting people, so I'm gonna be a rapper because that works, right? And of
Mhm.
course, obviously, they love when you come up in there and you like you gonna sell the dream to everybody else, so they go to jail too. Yeah,
Mhm.
sign right here. You're gonna be double
Yeah.
platinum. But then,
Mhm.
like I said, because it works, and then our young women realize that after the training that these people have gotten from all of these fucking rappers for the last 20 years, who didn't care about their community, these young women realize that okay, most of these men don't have no knowledge of self. They not they're not increasing their intellect. They're not trying to grow spiritually or intellectually. They airheads. They
Mhm.
really are. They run and operating on dick power alone, and they think that
Mhm.
it's a superpower. And so, if these men are being led by their dicks, then I'll talk to their dicks. So they don't even speak to the mind of a man anymore, the spirit of a man, the energy of a man. They just talk to his dick. Look at this booty. Look, I got some oil. And they always got
Mhm.
oil. Everybody's shiny as a
Yeah.
motherfucker on Instagram, boy. There's
I'm
always some
telling you.
oil. And they
Yeah.
backwards in the bathroom mirror on their tippy
Yeah.
toes, trying to act like who stands like that, man?
Yeah.
Everybody's got ass now. Really stop it. I
Exactly.
just feel like I feel like but again, that's a byproduct of what we have set in motion as a culture,
Yeah.
right? Our women always had body. Our women always had just animal like uh, power.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we are powerful people, but I can tell you that we also have powerful minds. We were the first
Mhm.
scientists and engineers, and we created whole curriculums that the world depends on now. And instead, we've been reduced to a big ass on Instagram, and every
Yeah.
woman wants to be the epitome of sexy when every guy wants to bang every fine woman in the world. We
Yeah.
already know this. You don't have to coddle our need for sex. We are already obsessed with it. You don't have
Right.
to do nothing. Show us
Yeah.
your mind. Show us the contents of your spirit. Show us your
Yeah.
energy. Show us what you can offer us, and we'll show you in turn what we can offer you because it should be an equal and opposite fair exchange. But instead, people don't see that. They don't talk to the minds of each other and the spirits of each other. They talk to each other's dicks and they talk to each other's pussies, and, that's
Yeah.
just
And that's
right now.
yeah, and this is kind of like Instagrammed in turn, because you would think there's a place for all your sexual desires on some porno hub or some of that
Yeah,
over there, but Instagram and almost brought a lot of elements from that, you know what I'm saying? And now it's just public. Now it's
yeah,
just like fast food type of content uh that's just convenient for a lot of people. And
absolutely.
it's it's crazy because like I said, it's a social platform. Social mean, integrating other groups together more or less by conversation, interactions, you know what I'm saying? So but now it's all just about visual aid. Like, I don't learn anything from just looking at your body other than, oh, she's attractive, physically, but there's nothing else, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing else.
Yeah.
It's hollow. There's nothing
Yeah,
of substance. I'm not gaining anything from that. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe a fantasy or something like that. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, you know, as men, when we look to find that special woman, we can't. I mean, Instagram then turned itself into something totally different.
yeah,
Uh, so it's just it's crazy, man. And then, like I said, you would think that's the only thing that these women have to offer is what's how they look, their
mhm,
their their selfie pictures, and
yep.
and that's all they really want to provide.
But
That's
but
that.
and but they've been conditioned to think that that's all that they are, and that
Yeah,
that's the only thing that matters about them, right?
yeah,
So you
yeah.
consequently have women who don't look like Instagram models, which the majority of women don't. Normal women do
Mm-hmm.
not look like women on Instagram. They just don't.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But because of the most perfect, women on Instagram are, extremely, um, you know, I guess they're obsessed about the attention they get. I mean, it's such a market for it on Instagram. You can't scroll if you scroll Instagram 10 minutes, you might see 100,000 women just looking like a snack, right? Like there is something there. The sexual value
Mm-hmm.
is just in your face. It's smacking you, it beat you to death.
Yeah.
But at the same time, most women don't look like that.
No.
Right. So if you a woman that don't look like that, now you feel like, oh shit, I gotta go look like that. So I gotta go
Yeah.
get surgery. I gotta go get a waist trainer. I gotta go do all this stuff. Or I ain't got the money for none of that. So I'm just gonna start sucking and fucking just to make sure that I can compete with these women that these guys fantasize about.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, man. These young women have been conditioned to think that their value is just between their legs and that's it and that's all.
Yeah.
And then these young men have been conditioned to think that their masculinity and their manhood is determined by how many of them women they spread open, and that's
Yeah.
it, and that's all.
And
And
we
then,
and we we share a lot of that same
mhm,
that same imagery. We share, like you said, we make impressions on like all that different stuff. So that's like I said, they seen it from us, and not only are we liking it, we reinforcing it by putting it on our page, talking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's a topic of discussion. So, like you said, all of that needs to change. We have to turn that around because they're looking at us like, okay, you're putting out there what you looking for, and I'm trying to
yeah,
dress the part, so I should be getting the same love in return. So it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of effort, a lot of mind change. Everybody not gonna be able to do it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, that's the things we have to change. And like I said, for our daughter's sake, for the young women in our family, that their mind isn't quite corrupted yet, and there's no turning back. We have to show them what's acceptable. We have to remind them of their past, their ancestry, like you spoke of, is the scientists and the engineers, and um, how powerful women were, how they used their powers, how they used their influences outside of what they look like. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but yeah, man, not to keep this too long. We're gonna get into this last topic, which is how to de-escalate conflict with women the right way. What you got to say about that one?
Man, what these young brothers, as you objectify a person, they become subhuman, right?
Hmm.
So the result of all of this this culture, this self hatred, the missing knowledge of self that we have, um, looking at each other as tools or resources instead of partners, instead of brothers, instead of sisters. Um, we dehumanize each other. Ultimately, we become, I want to fuck her. That's the goal. That's it, right? Well,
Hmm.
she's subhuman when that's all you want from her is to fuck her. You
Hmm.
don't want to hear any of her thoughts. You don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to exchange any ideas with her, right? You don't want to trade energy. You don't want to feel her spirit, or you don't even have an idea. Like that's another thing we've gotten too far away from the spirit in a lot of this. But like I
Yeah.
said, anyway, once somebody gets too far away from you know are too far into being objectified, it's easier to go too far in an issue with a woman if you don't see her as a life giver. You
Yeah.
don't see her as a community stable, which you see her as a hole to stick it in. and she better not get out of line, or you gonna smack the bitch because so and so rapper said so, or you
Yeah.
a simp. I feel like de-escalating things is first of all not just with the women, man, but we have to learn how to de-escalate as people. I
Yeah.
mean, damn, how many of us are killed over the dumbest shit in the world?
Yeah,
We have
man.
this we have this fear of somebody getting to us first, or being humiliated by, a lost fight. Man, listen, if you get your ass kicked, but you live to fight another day, you won anyway. But
Right.
but if you get your if you even if you whoop somebody, or you have to kill somebody and you go to jail forever, did you really win? Like, you
Yeah.
can win the battle and lose the war. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah.
not just with our women, but even with our, with each other, man, we have to learn how to de-escalate shit, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But with our women specifically, man, we need to respect them as the weaker vessel physically. And that's all that means is, they are the weaker vessel physically. Their strength does not match ours. We have no business putting our hands on them, and resulting to the same violence that we would meet a warrior with. It
Hmm.
makes no sense at all. And but that's just a sign of a weak man. That's a boy in a man's body putting his hands on a woman. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I won't say there's no reason to ever hit a woman, because I think that that's fluff. I think that there are some valid reasons to defend yourself against anybody, because
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
hurt your ass. But the 99% of the time, there's no reason that you can't just, as exit or move away,
Yeah.
and get out of that situation, man. So de-escalation, for those of us who have tempers, and generally meet violence with violence, or aggression with aggression, is very important. And I know that we have attached our masculinity also to our ability to control things around us physically. And while there's some truth to a man's ability to control the atmosphere around him, it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical manipulation, or a punishment, to those around you. And we resort to violence far too much in our community, not more than anybody else. That's bullshit. Though black on black crime is not a thing, that's bullshit. White people
Right.
kill white people.
You're
Asian
right. You kill within your
black
own
kill black.
community, man.
You kill your damn neighbor. So
Yeah.
there ain't
Yeah.
no damn such thing as black and black crime, because 80, 85, 89% of us kill us. And guess what? If you go to whites, 89% of them kill them. And
Yeah.
100,
Within that same
yeah,
radius,
a hundred
mile
percent of
radius.
Asians, 100% of Asians is killing Asians. Like, you kill your neighbors, and generally we are segregated still by our races. So that's not the
Yeah.
problem. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think the de-escalation is extremely important in our community as a whole, and there's almost no reason to let things escalate with a woman, no matter how slick her mouth is. Man, you talking about being cussed out by a woman, man? It seems like women have a radar for guys who won't do shit to them. And I've been cussed out by a woman. So, man, every time it's a woman that like want to really get off on a guy, she'll find a nice guy like myself, or guy with respect like yourself, to get crazy on, because she know he ain't gonna put the beats
Yeah.
on her.
Yeah.
Um, and that's unfortunate that some women, with the resentment that they have toward black men, and men in general, decide to take it out on the one guys who are really just not a threat to them. You know what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
overreact, and wage war because they know there's no physical violence coming. So that can be difficult to walk away from, especially if you find yourself being victimized in that way as a man, because that happens. Um, but even so, man, retreating is always the best way. There's no real you don't have your pride can't be what you're defending. And if you putting your hands on a woman, you got to be defending your life if you putting your hands on a woman,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
the life of your wife. Because I don't watch some brothers girlfriends and wives get jumped by a pack of women. And that ain't I'm not standing by and letting a bunch of motherfuckers whoop on my wife. We just gonna have to I just had to be less of a man that day. But
Yeah.
my wife is gonna make it home. But
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
outside
Yeah.
of that, man, this domestic violence stuff that goes on in all communities. By the way, again, it's not just us, but you just got to do better, man. You are not a man if you're trying to manipulate a woman's behavior with your fists. You a little bitch, and you deserve to die.
Yeah. I believe that. That's real. And it's tough, like you said, for the guys that are doing the right thing, are trying to handle the situation properly, uh, and how these women try to humiliate deprived in manhood, embarrass them, especially in public. Now
It's
you on the
always in public.
spotlight, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough. But like I said, there's no circumstance to where shit should get past the level of physicality to where, you treating her like a man. And, like it's two men in the ring right now. Now it's, you get her off for you throw your dukes up as far as protecting yourself. Get out of there, man. Um, if it can't be handled verbally, because that's where it starts, obviously. And
Yeah,
then if you try to combat that, because a lot of time women, they gotta be heard. So y'all gonna keep yelling, top of y'all lungs and all this stuff.
and
And
you can't win an argument with one. You
nah,
might as well just shut the fuck up and lose because you're gonna lose in
yeah,
style, or lose gracefully because you're gonna lose either way.
yeah, yeah. Cause like I just feel like the louder you get, and then your emotions get high, both of you guys gonna end up saying something that you gonna regret, that you either really you feel that's the right way and just been suppressing it, or you just say things to, I don't know, push buttons or to see if they'll retreat from that point. But like I said, it's just a muster of chaos, and it's gonna spell bad news in the end. So they're gonna get in your face. They may it's time to go. It's
Yeah,
time to go. Grab it, or that's another thing. If they in your house, your place of residence, it's tough to leave your own spot, but you need to make a phone call. Hopefully you cool with a neighbor. Um, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you have faith in the police, that may be an option. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to let it get there before you feel that she's gonna get physical with you, before she start throwing dishes and all kind of shit at you. Uh, you got to already have a contingency plan in place for that. So, man, just like you said, it's not about winning a battle, man. You gotta win at life as far as the war goes, man. And then at that moment that either this woman needs help, maybe y'all both need help. As far as mental health goes, uh, if you think this girl is psychotic, needs some psychiatric assistance, like, hey, man, it's time to make some appointments. Like, especially if you believe that y'all want to stay together regardless. Like, it's some real professional help that needs to be sought. Um,
absolutely. There's this quote I heard a long time ago when I was a kid, and it just stuck with me forever. I don't know who said it, but it was just deep. So I take it with me everywhere I go. And the quote was, "Never make permanent decisions in temporary situations."
yeah, bars. Yep.
I don't know who said that shit, but I thank them because it saved me from a lot of physical assaults that were about to happen. Not obviously, probably with guys. I ain't really had to stop myself and put my hands on a woman, but that's deep, man. And unfortunately, some people don't remember that. Again, I say it for those people who forgot it, or didn't hear. I said, never make permanent decisions in temporary situations.
Yeah.
Um, no matter who you're dealing with, and you can be frustrated for a moment, and hell, 8 hours later, you cool, you doing something else. But if you furious and you can't contain your fury and you do something permanent, first of
Yeah,
all,
that you can't unchange. Yeah.
yeah, you can't take back. And you hit your woman, man, that shit happen. That
Yeah.
you can never say, yeah, I ain't never hurt my no, nigga, that happened. And
Yeah.
that is in the record books. You have
Mm-hmm.
etched yourself into the record books with that. It's a
Exactly.
permanent decision. And some of these guys that even go further than that, like that bitch ass nigga that did what he did. That
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that briefly, man, before we wrap up. Um, One of our dear friends, she was closer to me, because we graduated a year before you, or a year after you, I should say, Kev. Um, uh, my friend, and we were close, man. Kristen Connolly, uh, she was murdered by her baby's father. I think they were together for a short amount of time, and before the baby's birth, her son. Um, but all in all, they were separated. She was doing her single mother thing. She was doing her thing, man. From the pictures of on Facebook. I mean, we got to do our class reunion back in 16, and I think was it right? I think he was alive. I think he was just born, something like that. Because my oldest, they were close to the same age, and she was a baby. So anyway, she was a very loving mother, man. Like, she was great, phenomenal. She had a phenomenal energy about her. She was very lively. Um, she didn't have to know you for long to y'all to feel like y'all been homies for a minute. She treated a lot of people so well. She treated everybody the same. She had very, very many close friends. And she was a jokester too, man. I just enjoyed watching, her son grow up, through the lens of Facebook, and she had a great time with him. And the story a lot of people didn't know, especially for myself, she had a lot of trouble with her baby's father, and a lot of domestic disputes. And I think my wife uncovered that there was a I'm not sure if it was either being a pending process, but there was a time where she was willing to file a restraining order against this coward. Um, but I guess it didn't go through on her behalf. She basically relinquished all that, and it was a lot of things that went unsaid about her situation. She didn't want that part of her life public, and I believe she thought she had things, in under wraps, and it was managed. And but this guy was a nutcase,
Yeah.
um, leading to her untimely death. This man murdered her. Her
Hmm.
baby's father murdered her in cold blood while their 4-year-old son was present in her home. This was her home. They were in the driveway. What reporters said, witnesses noticed that there was some arguing. This man had a gun, shot her in the head. Like, what the, like, you can't even imagine a nightmare that matched up with a story like this, man. It was, when we got the news, like, I couldn't believe it, man. Like, actually, he texted me and showed me some screenshots. Like, hey, bro, I think Kristen Connolly, you know what I'm saying, died. I'm like, what? Come on, like, it was one of the first things I saw when I woke up. So, but to go into, obviously, the premise of this conversation, there are signs. People know the signs. They're clearly marked, especially the man that she was with. Like you said, on several accounts, you were with this man. You interacted with him, and you knew this guy was off. My cousin, he went to school with him. Uh, there's things that I believe women should take for face value and use those signs as a clear implication. Like, hey, I need protection against this guy. I need to live with someone, so this guy don't come up, unannounced. I'm vulnerable. I have a son. Maybe I need to stay with family members. It's that thin line you have to walk, because I know she felt that she was strong, strong willed. She was very capable of being a single parent mother. Um, but when you're vulnerable like that, and this man he knows where you stay. Uh, he has access to approach you at any time. And like I said, I know the story was much bigger, um, because for it to end like this, some things had to been stirring up for a long time. And so it just tells you that, hey, man, you have to watch out for domestic disputes. Like, any signs that you have, if it was a member of your family, your sister, cousin, auntie, just a neighbor down the street, just someone Like, if I was in the city and, like, I legit knew about this, I would have to, like, my influence alone maybe not have swayed her to take the right precautionary measures. But I think if we'd have banded together and got her to do this on the strength of the love that we shared, I think it had got done. And it was at least been another layer of deterrence from him having to, you know what I'm saying, and ultimately coming to that result. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
Kate, if you can add to this, man, and kind of, what we can impart on this.
yeah. I think a lot of times people they don't take threats seriously. They don't take the idea that somebody would make such a final decision from rage.
Mhm.
No one really thinks that'll happen. Everybody's like, "Oh, he ain't crazy. He crazy, girl, but he ain't crazy, crazy." No, that
Mhm.
motherfucker was crazy, crazy. Um, and unfortunately, he got the opportunity to show the world. And I just think that it's really unfortunate. But again, when you as a man get used to putting your hands on a woman and being violent against a woman, being violent against a woman, talking down to a woman a certain way. What we don't realize is we create in ourselves a culture and a standard. And so it's easy to go from talking down to your woman to getting in her face to touching her in a mean way, like when you upset, touching her, breaking a touch barrier when y'all are arguing, not necessarily abusively, but just breaking the touch barrier. But eventually that's not good enough. And it turns into you having to grab her because that she ain't listening to she ain't paying enough attention to you touching her. And then you having to grab her. And pretty soon once you start grabbing somebody in anger and touching somebody in anger and yelling at somebody and cursing at somebody and disrespecting somebody and dehumanizing somebody in anger, you ultimately start hurting that person in anger. It's progressive and it's a behavioral evolution that goes. We do it in every other thing has an evolution, much the same, which we go a little bit further than we went to last time because
Mhm.
last time wasn't good enough, and the frustration gets bigger and deeper. And I'm sure at some point, had he caught himself years ago, when the way he would talk to a woman or the way he would handle a woman, maybe he could have prevented this himself. But you get used to taking things past the level of appropriate, and your new line in the sand becomes the new line of appropriate. And that's
Mhm.
why it's important that we always digress, we always de-escalate, because if we don't de-escalate with the right time and in the right mind or the wrong mind, we can do some things that will last us a lifetime and we'll pay for a lifetime. Now he's actually my cousin's baby's father as well, so
Mm.
now my little cousin is out of a father, most likely forever, hopefully deservingly forever, as
Right.
far as I'm concerned. Fuck that nigga, man. But
Mhm.
uh I'm very sad about this because a young woman was so nice to me. She was so sweet to me. She was so loving. She was so caring. And
Mhm.
the greatest people I know from our high school love this girl.
Yeah.
Not the people that I like. I don't fuck with you. The
Yeah.
people that I have the most respect for, the most reverence for, think the world of this girl. So even though I didn't have
Yeah.
a real personal relationship with her, she was always she showed love for no reason for me. And
Yes,
I
sir.
just I just really appreciated her energy when she was around. I always felt good when she was around. It's a shame that he couldn't control himself and his worst instincts to make a very permanent decision in a temporary situation. And again, whether you shooting a girl in the head 5 times or whether you hitting your woman, whether you grabbing her and pushing her against the wall, whether you're choking her or roughing her up, you are making a permanent decision in a temporary situation. We
Mhm.
need to understand how to again de-escalate, how to get away. You are better off running down the street full speed with your damn tail tucked between your legs than raising your hand to a woman or raising a gun to a woman.
Yeah.
Um, Man, he'll fit right in jail, man. He'll fit
Oh
right
yeah.
in. He likes to fight. He likes violence. His ass will fit right in. I
Yeah.
mean, but he's short, so I don't think he's gonna be pie boss. We'll figure that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for him to find out. And you know what I mean? Shit, they take care of him. They gonna take real good care of him in there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, hate to end on a note like that, but Hey, family, just like I said, just making sure we setting the right example. That's who we are as men, as leaders of the community, especially our household. We got to set that bar, man. How are we showing them what self-respect looks like? We can't honor these things that we know is wrong. We have to practice that.
And that destroy our community.
Right. Right. Exactly, man. We can't fall like we've been falling. You know what I mean? It's time to rise up above all this shit. We got to do it. Start now, man. No other
Absolutely.
time but right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So hey, family, appreciate you tuning in. This was a kind of a little extended episode, but if you made it this far, we're honored. We appreciate your support to the fullest. And like I said, continue to rock with us. We got more great content on the way. YouTube will be coming up soon. Yeah, man, a lot of great things. We'll be probably going live on Instagram not too long from now with some topics. If you have questions, we'll definitely like to hit those questions up. Go over some things on that live if you have it for us. So, but yeah, man, on IG, get us at the Fatherhood Village, and on Twitter, Fatherhood News, man. Any last words, kid?
Man, just be real man out here. Be a whole man. Don't just be a man of somebody bitching at you. Don't just be a man if it's time to put some women down. Don't just be a man if it's time to have some sex. Be a man when the responsibilities pop up. Be a man when
Mm-hmm.
somebody piss you off and you got the opportunity to walk away. Be a man when a woman is getting out of line and she won't get back in line and you got to
Mm-hmm.
leave or get out of there or escape before she tries to escalate it. Be a man when it's difficult. It's not always convenient to be a man. It's not always fun. It's not always pleasurable. You won't always get a reward. Somebody won't always celebrate you. But be a man when it counts the most. Be a man when nobody's looking.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Real integrity. We're honorable men, man. We gotta do this stuff together in concert. You know what it is. Hey, it's the podcast host, Dale Holloway, Kev Hick, man. Peace and love.
Peace and love.